housing affordability is an issue you've worked on, but you took on recently with your former colleague, Councilmember Jamie Gauthier. It landed you in a little bit of a pickle with developers, and you are no stranger to developers. Your husband is a former developer, and now I believe he works at Temple. There is also a growing conversation around rent control. So the general conversation is, how can we control prices, market prices, to make it so that people can afford to rent, continue to buy, but again, so that the city can continue to fund these projects and incentivize outside developers to come in and continue to build for the people who want to rent.
So I'm going to unpack that a little bit. This is about toolboxes, right? And when we passed the 20% requirement, it was pre-COVID logistics interest rates, right? So all of this, that's why these toolboxes need to evolve. They need to be sharpened, and they'll have to change. When I first introduced mixed income housing with the bonus, it was always understanding that the majority of the affordable units are in the private sector. Now, Philadelphia is lucky. We have very good community development corporations doing fabulous works, and some would say creating markets where these developers wouldn't go before, right? The land is one toolbox. Mixed income housing bonus was a toolbox. If you build green, you get another bonus, right? So it's sort of like a toolbox of, if I was going to create 36 units, if one more floor gives me 42 units, so how many of those can you give us affordable, right? So it was a tool. Some of what folks are proposing sometimes are just blunt one way. And I'm like, what's the give and take? If I let you build bigger, if I let you build transit-oriented development, so developers have predictability, right? It took me years to convince community registered corporate organizations in the neighborhood where are the stations that we could have it. And I'm the how. How do we get there, right? So the 20% requirement came at a time where we saw low interest rates.
Because this was all pre-COVID.
Right, this is pre-COVID. So were already bringing value. So we were asking for the 10%, right? So then when all of these other pieces happen, opportunity zone, we're like, okay, so let's ask for 20%. And some developers, there's been a few developers who have made the 20% work, right? Now the market has changed, and we might have to give them additional tools for the 20%, but that can work. Prior to COVID, we allocated $6 million to a shallow rent program with our community development corporations. And what we said to community development corporations, if you have a unit at 60% AMI, someone needing to make $40,000, but we have someone at 30% AMI, $25,000, the city will pay the difference. And we piloted that with the intent that we were going to put tens of millions of dollars behind that and create what I call fixed rate housing. Why? Why do we need fixed rate housing? We need predictability for the landlords, which, by the way, most of the affordable units are with small landlords who have less than 10 units. These are not big developers. 10, and those are the ones that, by the way, are in our neighborhoods. Right? So you have the small landlord who can create, or the small developer who can create a unit and say, I can do a unit, South Kensington, at $1,200, Maria. If you have a family that could only pay $850, you pay the difference. So that's a fixed rate. It's a fixed rate for him, and it's a fixed rate for the tenant. So that's predictability. You don't need to control it. You need to provide predictability for the market and for the tenant. But for folks who are going to be in the rental market, they need housing stability. And housing stability is putting them in a unit where they pay what they can afford to pay and doesn't destabilize them, and where the city pays the rest. And that's the model that's going to work in a city like Philadelphia. So it's not them and us versus us. It's all of us saying we can do this. We will never build the units necessary through our public sector. We need the private sector. So we can't villainize them and then say, give us the units, right? So no one, especially on this campaign trail, no one gets it.